Today we're talking about 5 subtle signs that your baby is secretly ready to drop a nap. And trust me, if naps have suddenly gone from predictable to chaos, one of these signs is probably the reason. As a mom of two and a pediatric sleep consultant, I can tell you most nap problems don't mean something is wrong, they mean that your baby is growing. And while this can be hard on parents, just remember it's normal for the shift in dropping naps to feel challenging. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be. When you understand your baby's sleep cycle and their sleep needs by age, you can pinpoint exactly when to drop a nap so you can protect nighttime sleep, avoid overtiredness, and escape the unpredictable nap roller coaster. And stay with me because at the end of this video, I'm going to share the one counterintuitive sign that parents almost always misread, and it leads to weeks of unnecessary bedtime battles. Sign number 1, naps suddenly get short. Ever notice your baby's rock solid 90-minute nap suddenly becomes a 20-minute power nap? Short naps often mean that your baby's sleep pressure isn't high enough to support the number of naps they're currently taking. Sleep pressure is just the biological drive to fall asleep. It's a fancy way for saying how sleepy your body feels. As babies get older, they need more awake time between naps to build the right amount of sleep pressure to fall asleep easily and stay asleep longer. If they keep their old schedule, they're simply not tired enough, so they pop awake early. This is one of the earliest clues that they're ready for fewer naps. So don't panic when naps shorten. Try extending the wake window slightly, no more than 15-minute increments. And if short naps continue for several days in a row, your baby may be signaling that it's time for a bigger change. If you're not sure how long wake windows should be at your child's age, grab my free sleep chart linked below. Sign number 2, bedtime starts pushing later and later. If bedtime is creeping later, even when you want it to stay earlier, this is a big sign. Too much daytime sleep can push bedtime back and cause nighttime restlessness. Here's how it usually happens. Your baby takes all their naps, but suddenly needs 30 to 60 minutes to fall asleep at bedtime. That's because the total amount of daytime sleep is more than their age needs. Their body is telling you, I don't need all of these naps anymore. If bedtime battles last for more than 3 to 5 days in a row, you may need to trim a nap or drop one completely. And again, if you want age-specific total daytime sleep and wake windows, the sleep chart below will save you tons of guessing. Sign number 3, nights get worse instead of better. This sign can be a tricky one and one that most parents can often get wrong if they're not looking at the big picture. Sleep begets sleep, and for babies less than 3 months, there really is no such thing as too much daytime sleep. But as they start to grow and their sleep needs start to drop, too much daytime sleep can lead to more nighttime wakings, not fewer. While parents of newborns have been prioritizing good quality naps when babies are little, it's key to look at their overall sleep needs and adjust accordingly as they grow. Let me show you an example of how to do this. Let's say you have a 6-month-old. For their age, they should be sleeping about 14 and a half hours in a 24-hour period, with recommended 3 naps a day and a max amount of time they're awake between sleeps of 2.5 hours. Let's also say it's important for you that they sleep in till 7 a.m. That means that total nighttime sleep they're getting would be about 11 and a half hours. So they only need 3 hours of total nap time during the day. If they're getting more than that during the day, it will likely mean either earlier wake-ups or more night waking. Your optimum schedule then would look like 7 a.m. wake, 2.5 hour awake window, so 9:30 a.m. nap to 10:30 a.m. Again, another 2.5 hour awake window, nap from 1 to 2 p.m. Another 2.5 hour awake window, so another nap from 4 to 5 p.m. And then last 2.5 hour awake window with bedtime at 7:30 p.m. While this may mean that naps that were previously an hour and a half or maybe even 2 hours are now going to 1 hour, it's necessary during this transition as they're just not mature enough to stay awake the 3 to 4 hour window that's needed to really get down to 2 naps. And if you try to force them to stay awake longer than they are capable, you will end up with an overtired, fussy baby who has a hard time getting to sleep and staying asleep. And before you move on, I'd love to hear from you. Which nighttime sleep struggle does your baby have right now? Is it bedtime battles, frequent wakings, or early mornings? I'd love to help. Put it in the comments below. Sign number 4, they skip the last nap even when you try everything. Ever try walking, rocking, bouncing, and that last nap just doesn't happen? When babies consistently skip the same nap every day, it usually means that their sleep pressure is not strong enough to maintain the current number of naps. This is super common before going from 4 to 3 naps, 3 to 2 naps, or the big one down from 2 to 1 naps. If your baby misses that nap for several days in a row, they're very likely ready to transition. And while it may be tempting to just drop the nap altogether, it's really important to look at how your baby is acting during the day and at bedtime. If they're happy and they fall asleep easily, they're probably fine to go ahead and adjust the schedule and drop the nap entirely. If they miss the nap consistently but are fussy afterwards and have a really hard time falling asleep, then it usually means they're not quite ready. Slower transition and schedule adjustments may be needed. Shrink the nap, cap daytime sleep, or drop it entirely, depending on the age and how they're reacting when they don't get the nap. You can guide the transition gently instead of letting them crash into overtiredness. Sign number 5, they're in that awkward in-between phase. This is the phase that every parent hates, the messy middle. Your baby seems kind of ready to drop a nap, but also kind of not ready. Here's what that looks like. Bedtime gets late. That last nap is hit or miss. They wake early on some days, and they take long naps on others. It's inconsistent because their sleep needs are changing. The key here is to slowly shift wake windows and offer flexible nap lengths until your baby adjusts. The transition period lasts anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks depending on the nap. In this stage, it's important not to rush it and not to panic. Don't overhaul your schedule overnight. Gradual change is best, somewhere in no more than 15-minute increments every day. My free sleep chart has daily totals, age-appropriate naps, and guidance for every transition, and it's linked for free below. If you recognized even one of these signs, your baby may be closer to a nap transition than you think. And that's a good thing. It means that their sleep is maturing. And remember at the beginning of the video, the one counterintuitive sign that parents almost always misread. Most parents think that when nighttime sleep is getting worse, even though you're doing everything right, that their baby is going through a regression. But it's often a sign that your baby is just oversleeping during the day, not regressing. Small schedule tweaks can turn things around so quickly. So take what you learned today and pair it with my free sleep chart link below, and you'll feel so much more confident navigating nap transitions without guessing or stressing. Now that you know the 5 subtle signs your baby is secretly ready to drop a nap, you might be wanting to learn more about wake windows and adjusting them properly to fit your baby's schedule. But how do you do that? It all starts by watching this video next. Because when you pair what you've just learned with what's in this video, it's way more powerful.